It's natural when you hear someone being in love with or sexually attracted to an object like a couch. Everybody kind of scratches their chin or gets freaked out by it. We're certainly not talking about JD Vance or anyone specifically having a love affair or a sexual affair with an inanimate object. But this idea of being sexually attracted to and using an object, an inanimate object like a sofa, for sexual pleasure is maybe to many people surprising, but it's very common, not necessarily only sofas, but it could be any object that people form an emotional or a sexual attachment to. So it's considered a fetish when we need an inanimate object like a sofa cushion or, you know, a spoon, or it could be anything, a bottle, something that we need, even a foot fetish. We hear about those, an inanimate object that we need to get sexually aroused or to even reach, you know, climax. When we're talking about being in love or emotional attachment as well as sexual attachment, that's when it's called objectophilia, which is considered a paraphilia in that category. And there are many, many, many of those. Objectophilia is when you are sexually attracted and have romantic feelings for an inanimate object. Well, I love conversations like these as a sex, love, and relationship therapist, because anything that brings stuff out of the shadows that nobody knows about or nobody wants to talk about and into the light where we can be educated about it is good. Now, certainly with all the making fun of and the memes, someone who actually may have objectophilia or a fetish for sofas or anything else, you know, may feel a little self-conscious, but they already know they're unusual in most cases. And if they're trying to have a relationship or in a relationship, they're managing that. So most of the people that I see with sexual feelings or romantic feelings for inanimate objects, the work is not so much to change that per se, as much as to integrate it into their existing sex life. For me as a clinician, it's always really frustrating when sex or someone's sexuality or sexual preferences becomes something to be demonized or to be used, politicized in some dysfunctional way. I feel like that's really harmful, not only to the individuals to whom that applies, but to all of us, because there's such a spectrum of sexual expression and sexual needs. And when we use it for basically harm, which is what this whole thing was, is trying to do harm to someone and someone's reputation, that not only harms the person who you're trying to harm, it harms all of us. So I think it's really important that we, you know, treat each other with respect in all areas, but in particular around our sexuality, which is the common denominator for all of us. And if you looked behind most people's closed bedroom doors, believe me, because I know what's behind those doors, you would be quite surprised how unusual people are.